everyone, and welcome. My name is Claire Haillot, and I'm here today to talk about projects in the hoop. I will be using the PFAFF Creative Icon too, but what I love about the projects in the hoop is that no matter which embroidery machine that you have, there is a project for you in there. So if you're new to embroidering and feel a little bit overwhelmed of how everything works, I have found in my personal journey that starting with a project in the hoop actually build my confidence, because the projects in the hoop are part of the CREATIVATE embroidery software. You do need to have either the extra or elite membership, but once you have that and you go into project in the hoop, you have different designs and a PDF that helps you actually understand what to do. So it really builds your confidence. So just trust me on this one and give it a try. So I'm going to do today a card holder, which is in felt, really simple project that is part of the project in the hoop. So let me just start right away on this. First of all, I'm going to jump onto the embroidery software so that you can see where all this sits. All right. So here is the subs of the project. All right. And I will show you now how to get that in the software. So here it is as a close-up. So it's a really simple project that's a lot of fun to do. So I'm going to share my screen and find here it is. So this is the software as I'm embroidering software from CREATIVATE. You're going to see on the left here, I have many different wizards. That's because I have the elite membership. So here is the icon project in the hoop. So I'm going to select that. And once I am in the file, a new file that has been opened for it, you're going to see all the different projects in the hoop. So there are various. But I'm going to start with this one here. So the card holder. So once I've selected this one, you have several different styles. So I invite you to go and play with, see how all of them, what they look like. And I have selected the heart shape. See here, view PDF instructions. So I'm just going to click on that so you can see all of the different, you can see the whole PDF that you can download on a tablet or just keep on your computer or print out if you desire, but that you have all the instructions. So I'm doing a video today, but once that video is finished, you can always come back and see it or go straight to the grab that PDF. So I'm going to select finish, and first thing I'm going to do is change, of course, the find the correct hoop for my project. So as I said, I am using the PFAFF Creative Icon 2, and today I'm going to use the all fabric hoop, 150 millimeters. So it's a square. I love that hoop. But basically, if you want to use, you do need, when you look at the size of the project, you do need to have a hoop that is a minimum 100 millimeters by 150 millimeters. You can see the size of the project right here. So today I just prepared for the 150. So this is how you get the design. And I am just going to go here into that little cloud icon and select my icon 2, and it has been sent to the machine. And now I'm going to be able to start doing the project and showing you all the details. So I've stopped sharing. You're there, and I'm actually going to show you here how you can see on my screen that the design has shown up. All right. So I just want to also say, so as I said, this is the hoop that I'm using today, all fabric hoop, size 150 by 150. However, you need a size that's minimum 100 millimeter by 150 millimeter. I know if you have the Creative Expect 350 or the Creative Expression 750, there is a hoop that is available where you can do that that project in the hoop on those embroidery machines. So I'm sure you'll be able to find what you need for your specific machine back home. Okay, so we have the design that is in the machine, and now is the time to hoop the project. And what I have done actually for this project, because it is felt, and it's double layer. I'm not going to give you all the details of the size that you need to cut all your little pieces of felt because it's in the PDF instruction and you saw exactly how easy it was to get that. So, however, let's talk stabilizer because you need stabilizer in the hoop before beginning the project. You could go with a tearaway stabilizer. However, in this particular project, because I'm using felt, I found after a few samples that I've made, having the tearaway stabilizer inside, you can't remove it. All right, so it becomes too stiff for that specific project. So I kind of went into the water soluble stabilizer, and my favorite is the Aqua Magic Plus. So it is sticky, so it also helps to make sure that my felt isn't moving on the once I position the felt onto the stabilizer. So let me show you what it looks like on the in the hoop and how it all works. So let's just go right now to this camera view. And so here is my hoop. I've already put in the stabilizer. So you'll see that in the back, all right, this is the water soluble stabilizer. And on top, it has kind of like a glossy paper. That's because, like I said, it's Aqua Magic Plus, so it's sticky on the upper part. And I'm just going to show you what I do to get that sticky now that it's in the hoop. So I'm just going to take my tweezers and create a crease. And with that crease now, it's easy to just pull out the fabric, the paper. So I'm removing the paper from all of the area in the hoop, leaving only my water-soluble stabilizer that is sticky. So it will, you see, it will keep the fabric in place. All right, so this is how I get that ready for embroidering. And now I am going to go and put that hoop onto the sewing machine, the embroidery unit. So let me just hop over here. And yes, I am going to go into the stitch out mode. I should review everything here to be able to get ready so everything is okay. I would have gone with the single stitch plate. However, I don't have it with me right now. So actually I do. I just saw it. It's in the back. So let's just do a quick change because it is important to have a better tension to have the proper plate when embroidering. See how we did was to change the plate, so it was definitely worth it. So I'm going to select OK. And so my machine now is, the embroidery unit is ready. I'm simply going to add the hoop onto the machine. Okay. One thing I forgot to mention for this specific project, because you'll see as we get through it, it is important that your bobbin thread is the same thread as the top thread, because you're going to be seeing on both sides, you're going to be seeing your threads. So it really, you need to have a nice finish. I strongly recommend to use both the same thread in the bobbin and in the top thread. So now that that's done, I'm going to go back into so I am ready to start the embroidery. And let's just have a quick look right here. This is something I like to show. So right now we see everything that's going to be embroidered, and we have the different colors. And it's actually, we don't need to change thread colors during the whole project. They change the thread color because we want to have an action. It's kind of like a stop command to make you do something. So don't think that you need to change the thread color. You can use the same for the whole project, but there is 3 different steps in this project, and it's all very well presented in the PDF instructions. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go into the color block options. I'm going to hide the stitch out so you can see all here. So those are the 4 different stop command, like you're going to have to stitch out 4 times. I want to go to the top here and show you the ghost mode. That is actually my favorite icon in that section. I always highlight the ghost mode when I am embroidering. So I'm just going to get out of that window. So now you can see here, you are strictly seeing what you will be embroidering in this step. So it helps you understand where you're at in the project. So ghost mode in embroidery, my favorite discovery, and I just want to share that. So we are now ready to go. So there is just stabilizer on in the hoop, and that's when we're going to do the first stitch out, which is actually going to give us the area that is going to be covered to do the project. So now it's basically telling me this is where we will be doing the card holder. So this is where you will have to position your fabric as you go along. And so once that is done, we are going to take the first. So here we go. I'm just going to show you in the window. You see it says stop command in design. I'm going to press OK. And as I go to the next stitch, this is telling me this is what we're going to be stitching now. So before we stitch that out, I want to add my layer of fabric. So I'm putting in to make sure, I want to make sure that I am covering all the area that has been outlined on these Aqua Magic Plus. So now it's very well positioned, and we can go ahead and press start to begin the embroidery. And so as it's going to be embroidery, because it takes a little bit of time, and if you're wondering, you can see right here. So it says 18 minutes. I am going to increase the speed. And so you see it's reduced it to 8 minutes now. So I will take those 8 minutes to show you what happens next. So let's just go to this camera. And so I've prepared samples so I can show you how that works. So like I said, the first stitch out, this is what we saw on the Aqua Magic Plus on the machine. So then we added the felt on top, and once that step is going to be finished, we will have our beautiful embroidery that's stitched out on that upper part of the project. The next thing we're going to do, so we're going to keep the everything in the hoop. We're going to pull the hoop out of the embroidery unit to be able to go in the back and add the felt. So we're going to be positioning the felt in the back and adding some tape. So of course, it's when you're live that the tape won't. Okay, here we go. So So we're going to add tape to secure the felt in place, and we are going to bring it back in the machine so that it can do the next step. So the next step is actually, you'll see it right here. This is the next step, what it looks like. So it's going to have stitched out this section and this section. So it's holding the fabric in place. And once that is that, so let's just go back and see at the top, still, we just added that stitch right here. So that's why it's so important to have the same thread color in the bobbin as it's on the top. So we are putting this in the bottom. We are going to go back and we are going to add those blue satin, the blue felt. It could be any other color actually. It doesn't have to be blue. Could have been another pink, but we're just going to add these two to the mix so that it can then, I'm going to show you this sample right here. It's going to do a complete stitch out. So when you look in the back, it's going to have stitched those blue felt in place. And so once that is done, your project is finished. You can remove all of the apparent stabilizers all around, and you have your project that is finished. And all is left to do is to grab your scissors and start cutting all around the project. So you can use embroidery scissors and start cutting. I would leave like a 2 millimeter all around and just round it off here. So you have your project, and then you can just start folding it. And you see, because I've used that water soluble, I could dump it in water and it would be solid, but it's actually very soft. So you don't really need to do that final step. So that's how you get your finished card holder, and it's just beautiful. Right. So again, I'm using polyester embroidery threads. You can play with it and go with a thicker thread, a thicker even cotton, whatever it's really your personal preference of what you want to use for this project. And remember that you also have a lot of different projects that you can choose from in the projects in the hoop. So there's a lot of different ideas. And one of them, actually, I can show you now. I've also made this key ring. So the key ring, the same principle. You just need to add that key ring in this section right here. And so you can really personalize it with initials. So there are several different projects in the group. I actually love all of them. So I do encourage you to go and see what is there. And so you can go and play with your embroidery machine and just get more accustomed, more used to using your embroidery machine. So we are now at 3 minutes. Let me just show you here. We have 3 minutes right here. So we still have a few little stitches left. And it's always fun to see the project being made. And so, like I said, I'm using embroidery polyester thread for this one. And it's, I really like the way it contrasts with the blue. So let me show you a close-up here of the key rings. And so you can see here that you can also personalize. So I actually added from the, if you go into the embroidery software, you can add letters. So you can add initials. You could have also done it for the card holder as well. So there are many things that are available for you to play with. So felt is nice for this project. You could have also used leather. So leather would have been a very good idea to actually, now I want to try that with leather. So even suede, there's so many different, the idea is for this particular project is that the edges are gloss, so you need to have a fabric or a material that won't spray once it's complete. So leather, faux suede, felt, those are wool. Those are all good material to make this specific project. So we have 1 minute left to the embroidery before we are done, and then we can begin adding the different pieces to the bottom to help us finish the project. So I'm gonna ask, as we're doing this, how many of you have tried a project in the hoop? How did you find the experience? So if you want to put that in the chat, and also, is this convincing you? If you haven't tried it yet, is this giving you the kind of like the motivation to go and take a look at it? Because there's so many things to do. It's always great to do. So here we go. Now the embroidery is finished. So I can press OK here because it's actually a stop command. And I'm going to go in the hoop option, and I'm going to go into the trim position. So it is actually moving my hoop, so it's easier for me to remove it. So I'm removing the hoop from the embroidery unit, but I'm not removing the project from the hoop. I'm simply flipping it over, and so I can see the area that has been covered to make that beautiful design. And now I just want to add my felt to the back and get that tape and yeah, I still have to find, where's the tape? Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm just going to be adding tape on to secure the felt to the back of the project, right? So that should be enough to cover it. And so now I am going to insert the hoop back in. All right. And I am going to go to the current stitch position. I'm going to get out of here, go back here. And so you see, this is, I don't know if you can see it. Now I can see that this is what's going to be stitched out. So I'm just going to press start, and I can have you take a closer look here. And we're going to start the embroidery. So it's really just securing the embroidery in place on the top and on the bottom. And so once that is done, again, I'm going to go into trim position, remove my hoop, and so I am going to change cameras to just give you a closer look. Let me just put this right here, and here we go. Always full of little threads here and there. So, okay, let me just, we're all the same, right? How many of you cannot do it until you've got all the little pieces of threads out of the way? So now that that is done, I can see that this is the area that's stitched out. And just to give you an idea, it's telling you the area covering that you need the space to be able to insert your cards in the card holder. So you really want to position that felt right at the bottom, at the edge of that stitch out. So this is where we are going to be doing, placing that and doing this here and putting the tape here. And I'm going now to be able to go back to the machine and position it in place. and go into current stitch position and begin the last stitch out. And so here it begins, and we are now going to have the stitch out. And like I said, this is the final stitch out. So once that is done, you can remove all of the stabilizer all around, and this is what you will have. And all that's left to do is cut out all of the excess around, and you will have finished your very own card holder. So here it is. It is now finished. See how quick it was for us to do. And so I'm hoping that this gives you all the motivation to get it started with doing projects in the hoop. Again, it will be in the CREATIVATE embroidery software in the extra or elite membership. Just try the card holder, any shape you want, and have fun with it. So I hope you've enjoyed this and that you will start making your own projects in the hoop. Thank you and happy stitching.